What's up? I'm Christopher Swag, and this week on CJ at the Movies, I got some new films for you, including the new scary movie with the Wayans family back, as well as a new film version of Masters of the Universe, and a new crime thriller starring Samara. Let's take a look. Our first movie is Masters of the Universe, the latest film version of the Mattel Toys and 80s cartoon show. It wants to have a Guardians of the Galaxy approach as Nicholas Galitzine plays Adam, who is sent to Earth for his own protection and to keep a magic sword away from the evil Skeletor, but he misplaces the weapon and everyone on Earth thinks he's crazy. But he finds the sword and ends up back on his home planet, where he collaborates with Camila Mendes as his childhood friend and Idris Elba as her drunken general father to restore order. And with the sword that gives him muscles and pecs, he labels himself He-Man. Skeletor is played by Jared Leto, disguised by props and special effects, although as Roger Ebert examined with Batman actors in the 90s, I don't think it matters who plays Skeletor, especially when he has a skull for a face and Leto sounds different. Instead of a B movie, I would describe Masters of the Universe as a he movie. Action figures and cartoons have elevated the youngsters through the years. I'm not one of those youngsters, but I still had to see this new version because I like its cast with Galitzine, Mendes, and Elba delivering some funny and emotional moments, and it could be as fun as Guardians of the Galaxy. But the problem with this movie is that it spends too much time on the special effects and fights, and not enough time on really developing the characters or their world. It takes too long to get to the payoff, and we can sense the moment a mile away. So for the fans, yes, but if you're outside the media franchise, I would say skip it. Next up, Scary Movie, the sixth entry in this horror spoof franchise, which for the first time since the second film has the Wayans family back. Shawn and Marlon Wayans are both back, as well as Anna Faris, Regina Hall, Cherry O'Terry, and Dave Sheridan, among the other attorneys. But as much as I was a fan of the first movie, which helped to make my teen years so cool, this is another mediocre attempt to bring back the nostalgia. The horror movies it parodies this time include the recent Scream sequels, Terrifier, Weapons, Get Out, Sinners, Halloween from 2018, Final Destination, Longlegs, Ma, Hard Eyes, Megan, The Substance, and Smile. This scary movie only works when Marlon Wayans brings the stoner character Shorty to the 2020s, like how he ends up in a Get Out parody that transitions into a K-pop demon hunter's hallucination, and I like how he has his live streamings with Ghostface fooling around with his buddies, but he also has to give us a glimpse of a worse comedy when he references white chicks. I know we're not usually supposed to praise the performances or story, but the young actors here are lousy, and the spoofing goes all over the place like a margarita with too many ingredients and not enough heart or flavor. Last year, The Naked Gun and Fackham Hall both proved the parody genre was still alive and kicking, but those films knew who the targets were and delivered with the right versatility. This one goes all over the place, so skip it. Our next movie is Carolina, Caroline, a modern-day Bonnie and Clyde movie starring Samara as a young Texas girl named Caroline who falls for a charming young thief named Oscar, played by Kyle Gallner. He specializes in tricking small-time store owners into trading bigger bills for his smaller bills, and she wants to travel with him to South Carolina to find her mother, who abandoned her and her father. They even decide to start robbing banks with Caroline wearing a black wig and sunglasses and doing the robbing, and Oliver doing the planning and listening to the police radio. But when they get to South Carolina, pathos ensues and their game becomes dangerous. That's when the movie keeps going into Bonnie and Clyde territory, and that's when we're at the edge of our seats. Watching Carolina, Caroline is like riding with strangers you want to get to know, even with their illegal activities. Because like hell or high water, these thieves have troubles of their own and they know how to play their money games. And both Weaving and Gallner deliver great performances. There have been many other films to tackle on the Bonnie and Clyde genre, like Thelma and Louise, Queen and Slim, and Natural Born Killers, and Carolina, Caroline doesn't overexploit it. It continues to liven up, speak with the right convictions, and have the right young actors displaying their chemistry and honesty. So see it. And finally, I talk about the success of two horror movies made by young filmmakers who started off from YouTube videos. Obsession, directed by the 26-year-old Curry Barker, has brought a lot more people than I expected, especially when Focus Features is its distributor. And it was a wildly entertaining, very creepy, and at times very, very loud horror movie with Michael Johnston playing a young man who doesn't have the nerve to admit his feelings for one of his friends, played by Indy Navarrete, and breaks a magic wishing toy known as One Wish Willow, and wishes that she loved him and nobody else, and things take a horrifying turn. And the then 20-year-old Kane Parsons made a film version of his web series called Backrooms. Because it had a fan base, this was not only A24's biggest opening, but it also had the youngest director to reach #1 at the box office. Chiwetel Ejiofor plays a furniture store owner who finds a hidden basement that allows him to phase through part of a wall and into strange and confusing hallways that Lewis Carroll would have loved.
They have been saying that Gen Z is helping bring back the movie-going experience, and young filmmakers like Curry Barker and Kane Parsons are able to speak to moviegoers who crave originality and love horror movies. And both Obsession and Backrooms are made by professionals who are able to boost themselves into dangerous territory. And in addition, because of Obsession's success, its streaming date has been pushed back, and we need to keep going to the movies and not let streaming sites indulge people. I go to the movies and I have fun doing so. So skip Scary Movie and continue seeing Obsession and Backrooms.
Recapping the new movies I reviewed this week: thumbs down for Masters of the Universe, thumbs down for Scary Movie, thumbs up for Caroline, thumbs up for Obsession, and thumbs up for Backrooms. Well, those are the new movies I'm reviewing this week. I'm Christopher Swag. Stay safe, and I'll see you at the movies.